New and present.
Almost present.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Why, thanks. So first on our agenda, we have 3 meeting minutes to approve. I will start with April 9th,
Now, why do we have 3?
because Comma was away.
Oh, and somebody else couldn't put it together?
Right. So has everybody had a chance to read the April 9th meeting minutes?
Pretty sure the spelling error is in there, but I didn't look that close. I would make a motion that we approve the minutes of April 9th, 2025, when we sorely missed comma.
I was not present.
All right, I will second that. All those in favor?
Cranston, aye.
Newman, aye. And then we have the April 9th executive session meeting minutes. Did you get a chance to look those over, Maureen?
Yes.
All right.
And I would make a motion that we,
Although I was not present, there is a correction that needs to be made there
Okay.
because it shows me present.
Oh,
you were here in our hearts.
Thank you, I
Yes.
appreciate that.
I would make a motion to approve the executive session minutes of April 9th with the correction that David has indicated. And are we releasing these?
Not yet.
No.
to be released. All right, I will second that. And all those in favor?
Cranston, aye.
Newman, aye.
But also make a motion to approve the minutes of April 23rd. 23rd? Yeah. I would make a motion that we approve the minutes from April 23rd.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Cranston, aye.
First up on our agenda, we're considering security cameras at the softball fields, and we do have Hank Leftwich here to let us know a little about what's going on down there.
Thank you for your time today. It's okay if I just read a brief statement on behalf of the board?
Sure.
Okay. My name is Hank Leftwich. My family and I live on Wilder Road, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the Sterling Girls Softball Association. I've had the good fortune to be a part of this organization since my oldest daughter started playing softball in 2021. Over the past 5 seasons, I've been able to serve as an assistant coach, a head coach, and for the past 2 years, I've been working as the equipment manager and purchaser for the board. For those of you who are unaware of the SGSA, we are an all-volunteer organization that has served the young women of Sterling for over 50 years. We work hard to provide a high-level, yet financially accessible athletic opportunity to the citizens of not only this community, but the surrounding towns as well. We are very fortunate to have had a great level of success in partnering with the town of Sterling to make the most of our town athletic fields, and we are thankful for the continued unwavering support from both the Recreation Department and the DPW. Unfortunately, over the course of the last couple of years, we have had to deal with increasing instances of vandalism and property damage at the Griffin Field complex. There has been graffiti inside the dugouts, trash and animal waste left on the fields, mistreatment of the playing surface by individuals on bicycles, and at least on 2 occasions, broken windows in the SGSA-owned equipment shed located at Field 2. As we are a volunteer organization, the time to make the necessary repairs and address the increased maintenance needs of the fields falls onto us, and the cost associated with the materials cuts into what is already a very tight budget. We pride ourselves on offering an opportunity to the girls of this community that is financially affordable and do not have the budgetary flexibility to make unplanned repairs to our facilities. At the suggestion of the Recreation Department and the Sterling Police Department, we are here this evening to ask for your assistance in installing a security camera, potentially more than one, at the Griffin Field complex. Our hope is that the presence of a camera will provide a deterrent to any further damage and misuse of the facility. This would result in not only lower costs for the SGSA and the town of Sterling, but also increase the enjoyability of the area to other town residents. I'm eager to answer any questions the Select Board may have and detail the interactions I have had with the Recreation Department and the Sterling Police Department regarding this recent matter. I'm also happy to provide more detail about my personal experiences with this issue as a father of 2 daughters connected to this league and as a resident of the town.
Thank you, Hank. Any questions or comments from the board for Hank? So we did get a couple of letters in regard to this. I don't know if you've looked into how you would get the cameras installed, but there is no power or Wi-Fi up there. And I guess solar powered would not work with the use of a solar powered cellular camera with a monthly charge would be the only option. We did get a letter as well from our police chief with some issues that they found with letting a private entity put surveillance on town property, legal liability, lack of oversight and control, possible violation of public trust, policy precedent. And so I do have that letter here. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I'm happy to share mine with you.
No, but that's very consistent with the conversation I had with the police department.
Okay.
We had police officers respond and document some vandalism that occurred earlier in the year.
Okay.
And we're asking them for suggestions on how we could go about securing the facility. We, members of the board, are outdoorsmen. We have game cameras that we could put up on our own, but we're advised to not do that without speaking to the board. Those same concerns were raised by the police department and suggested that this is the avenue that we pursue.
Okay.
One alternative that we have considered is that specific corner of the field is kind of in a no man's land as it relates to power. However, the snack shack up at the top of the field, is a powered facility. Would it be possible to have something up there that could at least survey the general area? And if there is, surveillance, occurring, then a lot of the other disruptive behaviors that are occurring, might be brought to an end.
Do you have any idea of time frame of when this is happening? Is it happening after dark? Is it happening?
I don't know specifically. As it relates to the windows being broken out in the shed, I was down there about a month ago, just getting the fields ready for the opening of the year. The windows had been broken out in the shed. At my own personal expense, I replaced the windows. It snowed over the course of that weekend. I went back the very first part of the next week, so between Friday and Monday, and all of the windows had been broken out. That's when I contacted the police and had them make their first response to begin the documentation process. And again, we're not talking about, it's not thousands of dollars worth of damage, but we have about 100 girls in the league, and it's by the time that we pay for the uniforms and we pay for the insurance that we're required to carry, and we pay for the use of the restroom facilities, we have no additional money. We're a nonprofit, we're not here to make money, but there's some concern that if we're forced to raise the participation fees, that there will be families who will be unable to participate in our organization.
Do you have any idea of what the cost would be for anything that you're considering?
In terms of security cameras?
Yeah.
No, ma'am. When I followed up with the gentleman at the police department after that first phone call, he said that he had cameras available. I did not ask him more specifically about that. I do know that there are members of our board who have game cameras that are cellular accessible. I have one at my home that we could provide access to the police department or the town if they at any point ever wanted to check the cameras and be aware of what was going on with it. My personal philosophy is I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but I also, we're down at practices twice a week, and on at least 2 occasions in the last couple of weeks, there have been incidents in broad daylight where, young members of the community have become disruptive in the area that have necessitated us contacting the police to have them come address behaviors. But I think if we can provide a deterrent and let people know that this behavior is being observed, this behavior is no longer acceptable, that hopefully it will bring it to an end. And we really are trying to, we as an organization work really hard to keep the facility, in a top-notch condition. We take pride in, having access to 3 really great ball fields. We work really hard to keep them clean, to keep them in good shape. And it's disheartening to see other members of the community not feel the same level of investment and to undo so much of the hard work that we put forth. And if security cameras are a no-go, I'm hoping that we can have a conversation about what other steps we can take that would be acceptable to the board and to the police department to help provide that level of deterrence.
We have the same type of issues right here in the center of town behind the fire station at the gazebo. I would like to talk to the chief more about it.
Same, because the town could maybe do something, and the issue would be with private surveillance equipment.
I respect that.
Right.
I'm a father. My kids go and play down at the playground. I wouldn't want somebody filming my kids without there being very clear communication that it's happening. I know that in the letter that you read from, I believe it was the police department, there was some concern about undermining public trust. I understand that and I hear that, but I think that there's also the other side of that argument is that if that part of town becomes an area that people don't feel like they can let their kids go play in, and we are worried about taking steps to address the negative behavior, then that is also in its own way an undermining of the public trust. So I would just put that out there as someone else who lives in town and likes to have their kids go play at the playground. We're close enough that my girls can ride their bikes down there. And based on the behaviors that I've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks from other school-age members of this community, I'm not comfortable allowing that to happen. There has been very aggressive, uncivic behavior that has required, like I said, the involvement of the police and very stern interactions from myself to engage in these other, to ask people to stop their behavior.
Yeah, and they do it right away, right?
Not as quickly as my children would. They were asked nicely to please stop.
Exactly.
So I would say maybe nothing private. I believe we would all want to work with the police department and recreation department to see if the town can do something, but we can't guarantee that right now. But this is something that, we feel for what you're going through and for what any child using that area is going through and the families. So it is something that I think that we will look into and keep in contact with you and let you know what we're able to come up with.
What additional steps can we take on our end to provide, more information to help you?
If there's anything new, if you just want to update us, any new vandalism or whatever, as long as I'm sure you report it, so we'll know that how often it's occurring. But I will definitely follow up on this. I don't know if things are happening in the evening, I was thinking maybe a solar-powered floodlight that's motion, it might deter someone, or even one of those signs being monitored by, maybe even though it isn't.
We did put a sticker up on the shed that said that there is a camera. There is not a camera.
Right.
I can't believe you just put that out into the universe.
The kids aren't watching.
I do not want any liability, and I doubt very seriously that the young people involved are tuned into the Sterling-Lancaster community TV.
They're not?
I will definitely keep your number here and your email, and we could make a motion to follow up on it just to give you some, peace of mind that we're definitely going to follow up. So I would welcome a motion that we follow up with police department and recreation to get a handle on the vandalism happening at the Griffin complex.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Krantz and I.
Look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Next up, we have the request for the 8th grade beach day down at the town beach. I believe they do this every year, and everything looks to be in order to me. Any questions or comments from the board?
They usually do a good job.
Yep. All right, then I would welcome a motion that we grant the request for the 8th grade beach day field trip to be held on June 10th with a rain date of June 11th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Krantz and I.
And then we have the agreement to use the airport for the Sterling Fair. Everything seems to be in order here as well.
We just have to make sure that we make sure insurance on that ambulance.
Questions or comments from the board?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement for the use of the airport contingent upon our insurance binder.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Grants and I.
All right, and then we have the treasurer collector demand fee change. Did you want to speak on that at all, Victoria, or just have us? You don't have to.
Victoria Smith, Treasurer Collector of the town. I would like to request that our demand fees go from $15 to $20 per bill for our real estate, personal property, and real estate, and excise, excuse me. And we just want to keep up with other communities. There was a survey that was done, and we're on the low side, so I'd like to raise it.
Well, the demand is something that you get if you haven't paid your taxes.
That's
on time.
correct.
Questions or comments?
That was my only question.
All right. I'm fine with it. I think if other towns are getting this revenue, why shouldn't we? So I would be in favor of that. So I would welcome a motion that we accept the...
Can I just add one more thing?
You can.
To make sure that, do you understand that I would like to bring it up $5 for 2 more years and then
Yes.
stop it, cap it at 30?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'd welcome a motion that we give the permission to the treasurer collector's office to up their demand fees.
Second. I so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we need to designate one of us to choose our scholarship winners for this year, and I will offer my services as I did it last year, and I know that you are both currently serving on other committees, so subcommittees, so unless either of you would love it, I will do that.
I just love that you would do that. No, I like the continuity there. And is Roy doing them again?
I will contact them.
Okay, and
I
then
still have his email
finance?
from last year.
And I don't know who the finance committee is going to,
Yeah,
but someone from finance.
yeah, because of Joe King. He
It was Mark last year.
Was it Mark?
Yes.
Right.
All right, so we'll ask Mark to do it.
Yep, I can contact them. I don't know if they want to vote on it, but I will contact those that I worked with last year and see if
Yeah.
they'd like to continue. All right, so then I would welcome a motion that I take on the scholarship team.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
Grant and I.
Then we have a driveway permit for 184 Justice Hill Road cutoff. The only note here is that the DPW is requiring a minimum of a 12-inch pipe be installed to convey storm drainage under the new driveway. And I don't believe we have anyone here.
What? I don't have that.
And number 7, do you have any? Okay.
I got nothing. I don't even have it on my action items.
Oh, interesting.
I think so. Maybe I am getting...
You got your binder too early.
Wait, what?
You got your binder too early. I don't know.
Sorry, I tried to be on time. Jesus. So that's the only...
Yep.
I thought we had already done this. Apparently not. Well, I'd make a motion to grant the permit for Harvey remodeling up on Justice Hill with the contingency they follow through on the DPW.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Newman, aye.
So Carmen, did Bill put the vendors together this time?
Yes.
I figured.
I'm gonna figure out a whole bunch.
Yay. Learn something new every day.
All right. Next up, town meeting debrief. Anyone have anything they want to say about
I think
town
Hank wants
meetings?
to say something about
I
it.
know he enjoyed it. I just want to say thank you to all the people that showed up. It was amazing, the
Yes.
turnout. Not to mention, a lot of people said it was their first time coming to town meeting. And at 11:15, we still had about 130 people.
Which
that
is normally
stayed.
the town meeting.
Which, right, which is amazing. I really think that the votes on Monday, like progress prevailed that night over misinformation and hate. And it really validated all of the hard work that our employees and multiple town boards and committees have been doing for the past year. And I also think that it really showed the voters and the people of town what can go on at a town meeting. And I just want to mention the voter that made the amendment to the table of usages for the new Gateway Enterprise District. And her amendment passed. And by being there that night, she was able to make changes that will shape the town for years to come. And like, that's democracy at its finest. And I love that we had the high turnout and that many people saw that by being there, that can happen. So I think it was a great night overall, albeit very long, but.
What?
So that's my 2 cents on town meeting. So anybody else would like to add to that?
Well, I thought Rich Lane did a fabulous job.
Absolutely.
I love the timer being up there. And I did, yeah, that was a real plus. I mean, yes, it was long, but we also had very important things on the warrant this year that needed to be done. I can't say enough about Steve Wallace and his presentation and how people finally understood what he was trying to do up there on 140. It's something that we've tried to do for years, and there was resistance, but I don't think it was explained as well as Stephen has done. Plus, the forums helped with that, and all the info on the web pages. Fabulous. That was very
Absolutely.
exciting. And then Tom explaining the whole dispatch situation and people understanding that this wasn't, anything personal, despite it is. It's not. Financially, it's a good thing for the town. And not surprisingly, the 7% on the meals tax, as I've said from the very beginning, I heard it. I don't like it. I understand it. And when it can bring that additional revenue into town, makes me happy being on this side. Being on the food and beverage side, not so much. But on this side, it's fine. I thought it was a really good meeting, and I've been to a lot of them. It wasn't our longest. We've had longer. So, and other towns are not even done with theirs. So.
Northborough was 4 days, I believe.
Concord does that too.
Yeah.
4 days. Who has 4 days? But I think doing forums beforehand really helps. And I mean, I know the DPW didn't have a lot of people at their forum, but by the same token, you have the opportunity to go to these, to listen to them, to see them on television. SLCT doing a fabulous job putting this information on SLCT via YouTube.
The zoning ones, the taxes one, the dispatch one, all the DPW meetings have been on there. Obviously, the finance committee, select board, planning board have all been there, so.
I think people knowing that we've been very transparent all along was very helpful. Even those who didn't attend those heard that we were transparent all throughout the process.
One suggestion I would make moving forward, because my hope is that all the town meetings end up being as well attended as this one, maybe throw in a few extra chairs. Maybe a longer select board table. Just little things.
We'll need that next year. Also, I thank you, the Teachers Union, for providing the childcare. I guess we
Yes.
actually had quite a few people take advantage of that, so I want to thank them for stepping up and providing that for everyone that night.
Yeah. So, that's
Yeah.
my take on the meeting.
I'd just like to thank everybody that put this together. I mean, it's a year in the making. and especially Bill and all the committees. I mean, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes into this that people don't see, and it went off very well. So, thank you to all.
Bill, you were up.
Sure.
Doesn't he have anything to say for the debrief?
Covered all
He
of
can add that to his update if he'd like.
So now that we are through town meeting, it's getting the finances ready for the end of this year and going into next year. There's only a couple outstanding items. The town election is next Monday from 12 to 7 at the Houghton Gym. I know there's some questions relative to the debt exclusions. There are 2 debt exclusions on there. Just because things pass at the town meeting does not mean that the project is complete. A yes vote is required to advance the Sweat Hill project. It needs a yes on both. Town meeting was the only required vote for the DPW facility because we would have another chance to exclude that moving forward. So it's not a yes or no voting on whether we like the project or not. This is to not have the funds built into what our budget currently is, and it allows it to go above that. The DPW held their forum before the meeting, and obviously their open house over the weekend. Do we have any updates from the DPW committee, facility committee?
I guess so.
As he jokes.
So at town meeting, the article did pass to allocate the funds, $500,000 for preliminary design and owner's project manager, which is required for a project of this size. So we'll be moving forward with that using Weston and Sampson as our design engineering team. One thing I just wanted to point out, there's a mailer that went out this week that stated there's a $33 million, the Article 25 was to authorize a $33 million funding stream for the DPW facility. That is in fact not true. The article that was passed at town meeting was to approve the $500,000 to move forward with the design. So I'm not sure where people got this number, but it's in fact false. So I have in my DPW building.
Some of the questions too at the town meeting were, did you look into metal buildings? Did you do this? Did you do that? This is what this is going to do.
That's correct.
You have no idea what the monies are going to be.
It's really unfortunate the open house and the public forum wasn't more well attended because in the big picture, we're not just building a metal building. We have a fuel depot, we have a washing station, we have a salt storage facility.
Mechanics bays.
It's basically a construction company is what we're trying to build, and everything that goes along with that, as well as providing the service to the residents.
Yeah.
So it's a big undertaking, and it's going to be substantial money. But in order to keep the level of service what the town is accustomed to, it needs to be done.
Well, like you said, it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Correct.
So, we have.
In a fast-paced world, it's probably 3 to 5 years away.
I was going to say that. It just when we started the senior center, it took. Yeah, we got the money, but it took us a while to spend it. But we did.
Just the spreading of misinformation in the meantime. If anybody has questions about the project, please reach out to somebody who actually has proper information. Reach out to somebody in the town, the DPW, our town administrator. That's what we're all here for. So
that's on the ballot also. And that's strictly the $500,000 for the schematics. Has nothing to do, we have no idea how much it's going to cost until we get that.
So the votes that are on there are only to debt exclude the funding. A yes vote on the Sweat Hill project will advance it and is required to advance it because that was a contingent vote at town meeting.
Yeah.
So both need to be yes, town meeting and the ballot.
Okay.
If that's what the voters want. Still working on some of the ARPA and capital projects. The lift was installed. I think we just need the state inspection. We will be going over the fire department roof evaluation since we had those folks come in working on the ADA grant over at the 1835. And we've put out the quotes and selected the vendor to do the Houghton gym floor over. this summer. So moving along on a bunch of the projects, and now can't believe that it's already time to work on closing out the year.
Yeah. And then you start with the new budget.
Then we start all over again.
Can I just ask, how did the cleanup go?
Glad you brought that up. We had a couple of dozen participants that showed up Saturday morning to take some assigned roads. There a few people did stop by and inform us that they had done cleanup the previous weekend, although we did try to postpone it because of the weather. We had a map that we outlined on roads that were done, and I would say about 50% of the roads in town got covered, which is pretty good. And I'd have to thank Laura Ricci. She did a tremendous job on many roads in town, and she also showed up Saturday morning to assist us with the handing of bags.
Very good.
Yeah, and DPW picked up the bags.
Yes, they did. They do a great job.
I was surprised that there were so many gone already. Yeah.
All right, do we have anyone here for public session? All right, seeing none, I know that David has a proclamation that he would like to.
Actually, I have two things that I need to cover.
All right.
We need to think about a date for the employee appreciation luncheon. We're going to have to come up with a date now, but the sooner the better. I have talked to Fire Chief Dave, and they are more than willing to host again in the building like they did last year. It works out very well, and the help from the DPW is incredible. So I think we take him up on that offer. So.
Do you have any dates in mind?
No.
I know Sheila at the Senior Center offered to host as well,
Yes.
but I know it might be beneficial to have it there in case they need to respond to anything, but just want to throw it out there that was offered up.
Do we want to try to think about a date, or we want to come up with something by the next meeting?
What do we got? What day? What kind of a day do you have?
We're thinking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not a Monday, not a Friday. Right?
Well, I would go with Tuesday then. Not a Wednesday or a Friday, you say? You guys can pick one.
Does the 24th work?
24th of June? It's okay with me.
That would be good. Yeah,
It's going to be 300 degrees.
probably.
Okay.
Well, it'll be inside the fire station. We won't be sitting inside.
Whenever you guys want it. I mean, as long as, I can only do a Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 24th.
There will be a bunch of us out of the country that week
Oh.
for a wedding.
Out of the country? You're insane.
All right, then let's pick another day.
17th, week before.
Sure.
Tuesday, the 17th.
All right. That was easy.
Okay, now I have a proclamation to read regarding National Public Works Week. Whereas the public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable, resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the town of Sterling. And whereas these infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the town of Sterling to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. as it be now resolved. I, David Smith, Select Board Member, do hereby designate the week of May 18th to May 24th, 2025 as the National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with the representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. In witness hereof, I do hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the town done at the town of Sterling the 7th day of May 2025. Just a reminder how important the public works community is. It seems like after winter is gone and the snow is gone, we kind of forget about how important they are. But everything we touch on a daily basis, once we leave our house, the public works professionals have had some hand in it. So, thank you.
Very nice, very well read, good sir.
Thank you, David.
All right. All I have is, of course, the election on Monday the 12th at the Houghton School from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Please do come in and cast your vote. Should be a quick in and out.
And you'll see Kristen there.
You will see me there, yes.
I just wanted to make note of the fact that this week we did lose a very vital member of our community. Liz Pate passed away on Monday night, and offer condolences to her, to Larry, and to the family. Anybody that didn't know Liz knew that she was high energy, tenacious like crazy, and worked so hard, not just for us on the finance and capital, but the senior center. I mean, I remember the day she came when we started to build it. She goes, "I want to get there." And I'm like, okay. So unfortunately, she passed away, and it will be a great loss, not just to the family, but to our community in general.
Absolutely, yes. Anybody who may have noticed at town meeting, we got word of that at town meeting. So if you saw anyone walk away, or if our faces looked like we were a little upset, it wasn't what was going on that night. That's when we got that word. And Liz was amazing. I mean, really just wrote the handbook for multiple boards and committees in our town, and I really respected her. I was intimidated the first time I met her because I knew how amazing she was, and then it really meant a lot to me to hear her tell me that she thinks I'm doing a good job. Hearing it from her was really meaningful, and just somebody that I have so much respect for, and she will definitely be dearly missed by everyone in this community.
I would make a motion that we exit public session to go into executive session only to return to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Smith, aye.
Good night.
That's an aye. Thank you.